This conference will now be recorded.
All right, good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. We will start out with our special board meeting. Can we please do a roll call, Megan?
Yep, Jeff Joyner,
Here.
Dave Rowley.
Here.
Jeff Lord is absent. Craig Gebelsman.
Here.
Tom Armeo.
Here.
Patricia Kennedy is here, is absent. She's virtual. Cheryl Robinson
Here,
is also
virtual.
virtual. Andrew Marietta
Here.
and James Stewart.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum.
All right, thank you very much. I will defer my remarks for today and go right into new and unfinished business. We have a resolution before us for the ESD grant agreement. Any questions or comments?
So this is just approving resolution from Hodgson Russ. Basically, they're going to give us an opinion of council so that I can send in the reimbursement to Empire State Development so they can begin with their review, and hopefully we get that grant money back.
Any questions, comments, concerns? If not, can I get a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second. Second, and will you do the roll call vote?
Yep, Jeff Joyner,
Yes.
David Rowley.
Yes.
Jeff Lord is absent, sorry. Craig Gebelsman,
Yes.
Tom Romeo,
Yes.
Andrew Marietta.
Yes.
James Stewart.
Yes. All right. Motion passes. We'll next go into the public hearing resolution, the remote access policy that you have at the back of your package there.
Yeah.
Any questions or comments? Right?
I was just going to say, you're all familiar with the remote access policy at this point. We do need to hold a public resolution so that if the public has comments on that policy, they can make them. So this is just, this is the board just approving that we set that public hearing.
Make the motion.
Thank you, Dave. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Tom. All in favor? Oh, we got to do a roll call vote. Roll call vote, Megan?
Jeff Joyner,
Yes.
David Rowley.
Yes.
Jeff Lord is absent. Craig Gebelsman,
Yes.
Tom Armeo,
Yes.
Andrew Marietta.
Yeah.
Jim Stewart.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, motion passes. Thank you very much. We'll now move into public comment period. Anybody from the public?
No one's here.
Hearing none. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you very much. Meeting is adjourned.
Okay.
On finance,
Correct, yep.
we'll go to comments, and approval for the 2015 budget. On finance committee minutes.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
David? All in favor?
Aye.
Payment of bills. Any questions? Comments?
Well, I have a question on the top.
Yeah.
On page 2.
Yeah.
The 89,717.67
Yeah.
is on the front, but on the total on the back. Just-
Right, well, Corning sends it to us, so I deposited that money, and then on the front page, I'm giving that money back.
Well,
So I don't count it towards our total that we're taking in, because it's technically a wash, it's coming into our
but you
account.
listed it in things we paid out. Or is this outside of our list? The memo on the front, memo on the back? Okay, I got it.
Yeah, because I'm paying it to Otsego County, City of Boniana, so I put it in there that I am paying them, because you signed those checks, so it is a
Right.
check, but I don't want to include it in our total, because technically it's just coming in and going back out.
So should we though for?
The only thing is if it was here as a separate and here it's up top in
Right.
other
Need
group,
to
it
be
just,
consistent.
just,
Not
yeah,
inside the-
it's nothing wrong. It's just
Okay,
a little more clear and nobody could misunderstand what's going on.
I get what you're saying, okay, I can fix that and put it back.
I mean, it'll still end up being a lot.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah,
Still a lot.
but just keeps it clean.
Yeah.
Right. Good point.
Any questions? I need approval to pay bill.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you.
Just a quick question. I think
Yeah.
James Stevenson, is that they're the people that are renting a room here?
Yeah, he's the newer one, so this is his second
Yeah, there
one.
was a new name
Yeah,
to me.
yeah.
Okay. He took over the Delgado space.
No, he is in the one that's kind of diagonal
Okay.
from my desk.
Anything else? All in favor?
Aye.
No? Abstentions? So review of the financials. Jody?
I don't have. But
They're pretty standard, nothing out of the ordinary. In the month of September, we actually lost $5,000 more expenses than income coming in. But we talked to the county treasurer yesterday, and he's issuing the check for $75,000 was either Friday or early next week. So more to make up for it. And then the approving resolution that he did at the special board meeting will bring in another $50,000 from ESP. We're in pretty good shape.
I would just note that the county board did at least $200,000. Thank you to Andrew and thank you again for everybody involved.
Anything else?
Will that be in addition to the 75, or is that?
Yes, right now, I was hoping that the two committees, the admin committee and the intergovernmental affairs committee for the county would have added another 25,000, 75,000, so that they gradually would increase that appropriation. I don't think that happened. I think they kept it at 75 right now. But what they did do, and those two committees recommended it, and then at the board meeting, the board approved putting $200,000 into our budget next year from their ARPA funds, the American Recovery Act.
So will that be a net increase of 125?
No, it would be the 75 that's already in the budget for
Okay,
2023
so
plus
the
the 200.
total of
275.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, and I was going to talk about this under projects, but we'll talk about it here. I had requested from the county treasurer that they check with their consultant on what strings are tied to that money. And their consultants ruled that since we lost over $200,000 during the pandemic in revenues, mainly the sale of the property to the halal meat processing facility because they backed out when the pandemic hit, that it can be used as general revenue. And so they basically tied to specific capital projects.
Yeah, yes, as a makeup for loss during COVID.
I do have an email.
Rent and keep.
So when we go over the budgets, you'll see that recorded in the proposed budget for 2023.
Any other questions? You want to finish business? Your budget?
Okay, you have draft budgets for the IDA, the Capital Resource Corporation, and the Local Development Corporation. The Local Development Corporation, the Capital Resource Corporation, is pretty standard. It's just a right now a budgeted item. The most significant thing in the Capital Resource Corporation is income of 42,000 that comes in and then goes out because that's what we budget for the IDA. In the proposed 2023 IDA budget, I've also broken, given you a copy. These forms that are part of your package is what goes into the Paris system. That they require that you put in this type of a format. But for the IDA, I've given you my much more detailed breakdown of what these numbers are because it'll just lump sum in these and you'll say that doesn't make any sense to me. Really, the changes in the budget for 2023 for the IDA, there's an extra $6,267 coming in from the Springbrook annual payment for their pilot. So that's an increase. On rental incomes, we also have another $6,000 coming in from the room that you, James. I never remember his organization. Tentatively, I budgeted another 12,000 in rental, assuming that the chamber wants to move back in here. Haven't come to an agreement yet on that, but they specifically said that they want to move back in with us. I have other revenues, operating revenues, there's another 10,000 coming in. That's usually to cover a pilot, and I do expect to do at least one, probably 2 pilots. We've been in contact with a solar company that's account for a pilot program. reminder, the second page is another there's the $200,000 that shows the county ARPA funding. We also have $5,000 increase for the community development block grant program delivery and administration. That's for the grant that since we had not budgeted anything for the grant we're working on right now with Brooks Modeling, because that one hasn't been submitted yet. And then there's $44,000 additional revenues coming in from the Appalachian Regional Commission, which is the offset the cost of hiring a marketing innovation director, part of that program. The biggest increases in operating expenses is we go from $153,000 to about $203,000 in salaries and wages. And again, that's the $44,000 for the marketing innovation center director. Cheryl made the suggestion yesterday of increasing that by about 3 to 4%. And we'll probably adjust that number. In addition to that, I've increased Hoskins and Russ fee from $2,000 back up to $5,000. And traditionally, in 2021, their fee was about $5,000. Oddly enough, last year they submitted a bill for $2,000, but they've never substantiated what charges they were for. They gave the hourly rates and the people that were assigned, but we told them that we need a breakdown by what they actually worked on. They haven't provided that, so right now we haven't given them.
I don't think that's too much to ask.
Well, our accountant will be upset with us
Yeah.
if they can't target it for the rate.
Right.
I've also added another $3,000 into the budget for Barton and Judas, assuming that we continue with the Richfield Springs project. And what I did for this budget, unlike the last 2 years' budgets, I took out all of the Richfield Springs capital costs because it just got too confusing when you look at the end of the year budget. That it's roughly $2.4 million higher. So this is strictly a operation budget, not a capital budget. And right now we're showing a surplus of about $120,000, mainly because that's the ARPA funds that we haven't spent yet. So during the course of the year, we're putting in that. We have a project coming up. We don't need to vote on this now. It'll be at our next board meeting. But I just want to kind of give you an update and give you some of the numbers on the budgets.
Is the marketing person for the Innovation Center, is that a full-time position or part-time? Because the salary seems kind of, can you get anything for that?
Yeah.
Certainly full-time.
It's full-time.
Really?
And, what we found on at least one person that we interviewed was that salary wasn't high enough.
Yeah.
And what we found from the other person was that she was concerned about healthcare benefits. That right now we provide Megan a stipend for, but we really don't provide healthcare benefits. I did check with the Broome County Industrial Development Agency because they have a marketing director, and they pay roughly $53,000, $9,000 more than we budgeted for. They, though, indicated that they do the marketing not just for their IDA, but also for their Chamber of Commerce, and that ours probably should be a little less.
Well, the challenge becomes, it's likely not a full-time job and enough things to do. So you're paying for expertise, and if it's going to be 44, there's no way you're going to get anybody in this market who knows enough to be an asset for that budget if they're working full-time. And I'm not sure anybody could keep himself busy trying to market this innovation center full-time. I mean, what on earth would you do? So to me, the budget, I mean, you don't steal the bullets. You pay somebody what they're worth.
Whether Jody feels good with it, then he has to go with it.
Yeah. Well,
I don't agree with it.
my only point is a part-time job.
You're right. You're right.
What we indicated to the two people that came in was that we budgeted 44, that we have the ability probably to go up to about 49 to 50,000. if they can demonstrate that that's what they need. One person wanted, I think, she was making 80 in her last job, and she wanted to be much more higher up, like 65, 75,000. And I said, that's.
Well, do we have any expectation of what a productive first year looks like? I mean, what's the potential for results? I mean, something measurable, some idea what a good job looks like, so that you could say, you know, have an interview toward that goal of, I mean, you're starting something from nothing, and the first 3 years building inertia, building some focus, it would seem like it would be difficult. If you fire somebody who has a lot of contacts, maybe it goes faster. So, but I think we ought to have some idea. If they did a good job in the first year, what would it look like? Because in the first year, a lot of administrative setup and just getting functional. You know, I mean, you might have a better idea. You can tell me what exactly it would encompass, and from other experiences working with somebody in that position like this, what do they fill their time with?
We saw the job description, right?
Yeah, yeah. And that job description was taken from another agency, and it's just kind of spruced up a little bit. One of the things, though, is that this person, in addition to marketing, the innovation center would market what the realty firms that we hire to market our sites. And really to market our agency. Right now, our social media is pretty non-existent. And neither Megan or I have the time to really work on social media campaigns, you know, because a lot of people in our county don't. And that's because social media is so non-existent. So that would be another task this person would do. There'd actually be some of 3 tasks that would be responsible.
Could we better, for the board's benefit, list the scope of things we think they might, I mean, you know, hire them as a marketing person for the innovation center and all this other stuff. I would do it in my small business because I don't have to make me happy, but you know, Peter and I discuss it, we tweak it as we go, you know, field engineering, but that's not really, I mean, someone setting it up with a clear expectation. You might, let me say, you could probably keep a person busy full time with all the other things to do, but we should have separation of work, what percent of time is spent here, you know, and if that's the case, it is full time, I don't think you're close to covering the budget. So what you would take to hire somebody who would make a difference.
What does the chamber do? Do they have anybody?
They're surviving too, I think.
I mean, this is a position, I see this as a position where it could support 3 different organizations or 2 different organizations where we would come together and, you know, yes, you would brand each of us differently, but there would be some synergy around it. You know, I mean, if you're coming in, wouldn't it be nice to have a page that is supporting the county, but if you're interested in business, click on this, it goes to the IDA. Oh, wow, looks like a well-organized county that, you know, they're working together. So there's opportunities for synergy like that. Or even, you know, Oneonta town, city of Oneonta come in there. Oh, wait a second, you want a link, go into the IDA or the chamber, you know. Again, I think there's energies here because we got a lot of different resources. It's just not well organized.
Yeah,
Are you suggesting that these other entities could make a contribution toward the sale?
Oh, yeah.
Right, and then you've got one individual who's going and trying to bring, you know, we're going through this right now with Bassett, where we're trying to bring all these different entities, you know, in different locations from Little Falls, O'Connor, Delhi, different communities, but bringing into one page and bringing it in from a social media standpoint that we're one Bassett. So it's trying to coordinate all that. And you have one individual working on that, it makes it much more seamless.
Yeah, well, I see it as a very key position.
Absolutely.
And, you know, marketing is a whole, I mean, expertise, you know, it's a whole different ballgame. And just the number is for a full-time position seemed awfully low to me to get the right person. You know, we're not looking for, shall we say, a functionary. We need someone.
Get beyond survival, let's work some proactive.
Yeah, our cheerleader, can really get out there and all of those things. I think that may be a suggestion. That's a good suggestion. I think you have, Jeff, but in terms of helping us get the salary up there. But in terms of this organization, I think, we need to drive the bus, rather than, the only difficulty is what, how, there may be some confusion, that person, how many masters can they serve, I mean, who's in charge?
Yes.
Other than that, but that's a good
The
thought, though.
other confusing thing on this whole thing is we were visited by Cassandra from
Destination marketing.
Marketing 2 weeks ago. She kind of threw out a proposal that some of her money could be used toward our marketing efforts and advertising efforts for business, to get the word out what we do.
Well, let me say, the minefield that I'm familiar with from 20 years on the chamber is, it's an Otsego County IDA, not Oneonta IDA. And I think the challenge is always becoming working with localities, but whatever we're doing with Oneonta, we need to be doing in Richfield and Unionville. We have to make sure, and well-intentioned, people are concerned about Oneonta because they live here. Okay, that's okay. We've got to have the overview, 30,000 feet, and make sure we're available helping all of the region, or we become just the Oneonta IDA. You know what I mean? And I don't think that's responsible to the county board and to the community. And so where we work with, even the chamber has the same problem, by the way. They're really too much Oneonta centric too often. And trying to make sure we're offering services to everybody, helping everybody we can. And don't be, that's why Destination Oneonta, once again, it could be a minor contributor, but certainly, they're only part of. It's one community within the county. It's easy to get.
Well, they're talking about destination marketing, which is
The county.
they're funded through the county itself, as well as, yeah,
That.
the old Otsego County tourism.
And I think what happened was some of the county board reps were concerned about how much money they were putting into.
Right, from bed tax into destination marketing.
And she was I think she came to see us because it was suggested to her that they should be working better with our agency. Now, just because we might want I don't know if it's going to go anywhere. I mean, she got her money. And I think she was concerned that they were going to pull some of her money and put it into our agency.
Well, and I mean, that's a year-to-year kind of, issue anyway, but they have a multi-year. So this part of the meeting is budget-wise. So they're looking to
Get us better.
Jim, that you look at the salary. Make a decision on what you think is best for you and the company. And idea. Yeah.
Just a quick question. We're waiting here on a relatively large grant.
Yes.
Without that grant, innovations.
Right.
Is not existent.
1.3 million.
Right. So there's some contingencies here.
Right. And that person would be in charge of that whole operation.
So should we not get that grant, there's still work for that purpose.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be greatly reduced based on it. And then can you remind us the timeline again of that grant? Is it late October?
Supposedly within the next week or two.
Okay.
And again, put that all together, it's just salary.
Yeah. Were you looking for startup January 1 for this position?
We're actually, the grant agreement calls for us to start October 1st. So right now we're out. I think it's ARC.
Oh, you advertised for the position?
Yeah. These are all fine for everybody.
Yeah, can I just jump in? It's really kind of hard to hear some of this, but I just want to be clear. I don't know if maybe the title is also not the appropriate title. I mean, I see this individual as a director of the Innovation Center, not just marketing. So I don't know if I'm misunderstanding that, but I just don't want to give the wrong connotation. Obviously, part of that director's role will be marketing and connecting and building, right, the clientele, but I don't know that it's strictly just a marketing position. So I might need clarity on that. And to Craig's point, I think we need a full packet and we need to understand what you're going after. I think we have a lot of ideas and our own kind of suggestions, but I think Jody, ultimately you have to make these decisions and you have to lay down and hire based on what you need.
Next, requests, fix the building access. So the quote was back from Eastman.
Yeah, I got a call or actually an email 3 days ago from Ed, and she said they've gotten a quote to fix the building. The flaps in the back are coming off. And apparently, when the building was constructed, it was an anticipation that the rear building would be expanded. Yeah, and so they never really put anything on there. He's got a quote of like $8,900 to fix the property. He asked if we're going to pay for it, and I said, well, if you look at the contract that we have with you, you're supposed to repair that. And then the real issue, and Cheryl and I talked about this yesterday, was if we could temporarily put the flaps back on, but it makes sense in the long term, maybe next year, to actually finish the, put a metal rear on it.
So what decision has to be made whether we're gonna pay for it or not pay for it?
Now, if we go ahead and decide that we should, as a gesture, fix the building, repair it right now, we still have to get 2 more quotes because we're required to take it fixed.
Right. I'm done with that.
2 quotes?
Yeah, 2 more quotes,
Yeah.
do 3, and then whatever one that's we think, go with it.
And what was the answer when he said that he's supposed to be paying for it?
His original answer was, well, I had to try.
Oh, well,
There you go, we got a quote, handed to him.
Right.
the other side of it is if he doesn't, how much does it get degraded through the winter if he doesn't take care, our building, so.
What's he gonna say about that?
I'm sorry.
What Tom just said? Degrading the building if we let it go through the winter.
I would, to be honest, I'm amazed somebody hasn't broken into that building at night. It's just basically a heavy tarp.
Well, I think it's a little more than that. My understanding is, I haven't looked at it closely, but
We use.
Yeah, that's what we were discussing yesterday. I think that building is close to 35 years old.
Yeah.
It was built when they had soccer.
Yeah.
The Hall of Fame was.
some of us recall that.
I think back to the early 90s. I think. Yeah, I got the money for that building. The state was doing a stadium for minor league baseball stadiums around the state. And was able to slip that building into the soccer field, into that sports complex program. And so I think it was back to the early 90s.
Yeah.
Bottom line,
Here's that 35 years. I know. Seems like yesterday.
30 years.
Okay, I mean, I think, to be honest, if they don't fix it, we should fix it because it is our business.
Well, we have.
Yeah,
The question Tom had was, if we're gonna fix it next year, that's the plan with Cheryl with the projects committee. Can you patch it for the winter to get forward instead of spending $9,000? Good money on that.
Yeah, no, I think it's good. I wonder what it would cost to, to finish off that building.
Right.
Yes, you're right. I spend 9 now and then
Right.
let's put
Take
that
it all
down.
down and then do it all.
Yeah.
More to the story here.
we may have different opinion in the spring, so whether or not we actually want to completely redo the back of that building.
All right, so
2 quotes more, and we have something going.
we'll see if we can just patch it right now and go.
Well, first off, option 1 is, have you got it done yet?
No,
To the tenant, because he said, oh, I'm gonna try to get you to pay for it, but I understand I'm supposed to. So that option 1 to me is still on the table. We need to get that done before winter. All right, if that doesn't work, now we gotta go to option 3, 4. You know, I know we called the play just off tackle, but the defense is set up to make that not work, so let's try an option. So to me, first is if they'll pay for it and get it done, this all fine, our life goes on. Secondly, if that doesn't work, we've got to figure out what to do. You know, we take 2 more bids to get that done, so we can do those 2 things at the same time. Right, we can talk to him about understanding it's his responsibility and encourage him to get it done while we're getting 2 more bids to see if it falls to us. We'll have to be clear to go ahead and do whatever we do, or get a bid for the whole back. That will probably scare all of us in this room.
I personally do not feel like a good property owner when we're saying you have to do it and it's our building. So I'm just going to be honest with you. That to me is interesting. It's in the contract. I know that's normal, but like we can't force him to do anything to the building if he doesn't want to, right? So it's our building. Ultimately, if they leave, it's still our building. I think we should take care of it.
So I think we're in agreement. We've got to get 2 more quotes because we have to do that legally. Let's get those quotes. And if he wants to step forward and say, I'm happy to do it, great. We have 3 quotes that we can pick. The lower of the 3, if we agree that it's responsible, and just go ahead and get it fixed.
Yeah.
Can't do anything unless we have 2 more
And
quotes.
get quotes that are finished quotes, like very, very little exclusions.
Mm-hmm.
Believe me.
I'm all in.
Okay, so let's look at least 2 more bids. Quotes.
Great.
Okay, Cheryl, you're up. Anything else?
That's it for financing.
All right, well, I'll forego the chairman, call the meeting to order. I'll forego the chairman's comments, move into the approval of the September 15th meeting minutes. Is there any questions or comments on those?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Project trackers, Jody, if you want to walk us through those 3.
So on the project charters, with the rail yards, the 2 significant things is that CD Richard Ellis Realty has started working on the marketing of those sites. Sent them a bunch of material that they're going to use graphically on their marketing materials. They've actually assigned 3 people. And the site is predominantly clear of trees and rubble. On the concrete on inherited. They did seed it and found some hay. There's still a concern by Mr. May that there'll a couple of trees and that if the contractor doesn't do that, he's going to take. So that's really the update on that.
That's Robinson.
Right.
Are they still here? They have a bulldozer still.
But the lot looks so much better now.
Right.
Went down there the other
Yeah,
day.
it's a little rough, but it's,
You see everything,
Yeah.
visualize what you could go there and the potential.
Now, in addition to CD Richard Ellis, Jeff and I have a meeting next Thursday, I think it is. I did indicate when I talked to him on the phone that I had looked at doing an exclusive with CD Richard Ellis. It didn't deter him. He said that he wanted to help out. Cheryl's comments was some milestones together. It's actually good work for us. So that if we decide to go with brokers, on the Innovation Center, is really what we talked about. I've had a series of meetings with Michael Walsh, who's the Director of Innovation and Entrepreneurialism at Harvard College. He was brought in by the new president. A tour of the Innovation Center, basically a large room in their library that says Innovation Center, but it doesn't have any equipment, doesn't have really anything more than what we have right now. they indicated that they would like to they would like to take over our ARC grant. The problem with that right now is that us electronics, having the college take over an innovation center, just because they would prefer to remain here. We did place ads with the Department of Labor and the New York State Economic Development Council for the marketing director. We did not list a salary in that. Hoping that feedback from people. But you ate the public press conference here last week. On the grant. And that's pretty much what's going on. And hopefully we'll hear within a week and a half on the other grant.
Just a quick question, on your Harvard College discussion.
Yes.
Is there any, rather than them, going up there with one room, is there any way that they ought to be perhaps looking to, fold in with us? That wasn't that the plan?
The plan was that if we were to get the second grant, we would take the fourth floor of this building and turn that larger.
Right.
State University indicated that they wanted to use that space as well to do training and to have a presence in the downtown. That's the other problem I'm having with Bartlett right now. Not a problem, but I've tried to explain to them that there's 6 players involved. It's our office, the 2 companies, IOX, Custom Electronics, Small Business Development Center, Bartlett, and the State University. And all of us have to originally 6 months ago with all agreed that we're going to do. So now, without, I don't want to swing going on.
So I agree with that 100%. I'm just thinking in terms of your discussions, maybe that would have to be at a higher level, maybe with Eric, in terms of they got to be folding in with us rather than trying to recreate our campus. By talking.
And Jody, as I said yesterday, I think we were being honestly too nice. I mean, the bottom line is it has nothing to do with we have to confer with 6 people and all be on the same page. The bottom line, it's not the vision. It's not going to work to be at one location away from the downtown area. So I don't even think you need to play the game of we can't do it because SUNY would, be offended or anything like that. To as I said yesterday, I think it's time to flip the script on them. If they want to be a part of our innovation center, that's fine, but we're not joining their innovation center.
Excellent, well said.
So that's really just the quick update on the innovation center and what's going on.
I had a conversation with Darren Reesberg. He and Alberto have talked. I don't think it's going to be an issue. I think Harvard would be, if we get that grant, I think Harvard and Pico will both be. Alberto has experience. Absolutely correct. It's here or it's wherever we decide it's going to be.
Right, and Alberto, he had his chief of staff call me, email me yesterday, and they want to have a discussion next week on the innovation center.
Right. This is like big news that we have 2 presidents that are actually interested
Like change
in downtown and on the outside, not just their campus. So.
On the Richfield Springs, we did send all the proposals, the engineering proposals, to EDA. They finally responded middle of last month on comments, both on part 1 and part 2 of the bidding documents. They also made comments on the construction manager RFP. They suggested that we get those back to them. I could go down to Banton and met with Keystone Associates and engineers, using all the comments into their drawings. Hope to get back to EDA. They've also, EDA's requested us to ask for an extension of time, so that's a positive thing. And lastly, on the gas line, Larry Frigate, the town councilman up in Richfield, he mailed out support letters. I think he got 8 or 9 support letters for the fire department saying that it's important that they use natural gas as opposed to propane because of safety reasons in a remote area. He got those back to NYSEG, and NYSEG is putting together a package to submit to the Public Service Commission. That's actually
The timeline in my mind would be now shovels in the ground and you,
Yes.
Yeah.
And actually, the Keystone said it was actually a good time to bid, end of October, early
Yeah.
November, and to go to spring construction. That will be our best bid.
Okay, so hopefully we hit that date and we stay on track with those bids. You don't want to push it, I think, beyond that. Any other questions on any of the trackers? Okay, we'll move to the director's report. Any highlights from there, Jody, you'd like to share?
Good question on the Richfield. What about the PSC? They have to approve what NICEAG is going to do there
Yes.
before we can proceed? Or?
No, we're going to proceed anyway. We're going to go out to bid. The big question comes up if they do not approve a gas line extension. How is that going to impact people interested in moving into Richfield Springs?
I think we have to believe we have enough political influence to get some sanity. And I mean, come on, there's supply there and there's jobs. I mean, people have to eat. I can't believe, I can believe they could be challenging, but they could also be managed, right? Don't you think, Jim?
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be surprised.
And how deep the anti-fuel.
pretty minimal.
Well, not Richfield. Right.
Yeah, at the PSC.
The other issue is that it's so cost effective to do a gas line like you're doing.
Yeah, correct.
Bottom lines. Just insane.
Yeah, no. Okay, good. That we can proceed and we'll.
On my report, really the highlights are the county appropriation on the $2 million ARPA funds. I think significant of two things. One is that it helps us financially, but two, really shows that the county board, they voted unanimously to do it. I think there's a much better feeling between our agency.
Very next meeting. Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's important to keep up that good relationship because there'll come a day when ARPA funds won't be there.
Right.
And they'll have to dig into their own pocket.
Right. Well,
and they sort of indicated that.
I think the conversation from the advertising outfit for the county cracks the door open to use some med tax money for us because we have an impact on the economy too. And obviously they're not spending it all to reinvest in tourism. So
I think that's great synergy because obviously business travelers, they also
generate that.
They pay that tax.
The presentation that Jody really informative to some people. I mean, Andrew didn't learn anything new, but I think some of the people learned.
Yeah, but just
What's going on?
I don't know what's going on, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that should be. I mean,
Yeah.
if you want to share.
Mr. May. I showed him that presentation. And he wants to put up the videos.
Yeah. Well, that speaks to the need of a marketing person. Yeah.
You don't, right. What is the county? He said,
We don't have any more.
just that
It's kind of department, like where they actually have their own Facebook pages, that kind of,
so there's no
connection marketing.
Yeah, no organized plan.
This should be one county. I mean, if you're trying to sell the county, which we're trying to do.
Let it be the idea.
Well, once again, staff and everything else. But once again, who's telling the world that we have water? A lot of it, open spaces. I mean, there should be a marketable plan that works. Anyway.
On other things, Abercrombie has started the next phase of our marketing lifestyle, still finding out state etiquette business component is being done between Binghamton, Albany, Utica, and Syracuse. They just put together a first draft of their new marketing campaign. See if
Today, Tuesday.
Friday 13th came out Thursday this.
I with all at IONSIS, and we got started together application. They've documented all the same employees. Name. That's good to go. Now they're together purchase order for phase one of their equipment purchases. I sat down, explained what. And then really.
Does she run the local operation? I'm familiar with that name.
Oh, she's their finance director at IONSIS.
Locally.
And the next thing, I'm working on a community development block application, pre-application for Brooks bottling. We did get the Empire State Development application submitted about 2 weeks ago. This one would be about $20,000. In addition to the ESD grant for about $100,000. So I met with the town supervisor and he's in agreement to move this ahead. And he said, don't worry about having to vote at the town board to authorize, sign this, so we'll sign it, get it in. Yeah. I have talked to the state and they are very interested in this project as well. He said they can fund 2 projects at the same. Yes, they would. And then the other thing is that we got our checks for the morning. Really quick now. So that's all I have.
Thanks, Jody. Any questions on the director's report? All right, any new and unfinished business? The only thing I'm thinking, the project committee tends to be kind of a catch-all for a lot of things. I'm not sure if you want to consider a temporary subcommittee to tackle marketing. It doesn't necessarily feel like it fits to me in the projects, but there seems to be a lot of energy and interest and comments around it. So I don't know if maybe that's something a temporary next year subcommittee you want to consider, Jody, with more action oriented, developing a strategy and understanding staffing and understanding the overall vision that we have might be worthwhile for those members that have some extra time and want to give to that, to do that a little bit more intensely. Any other new or unfinished business? All right. Motion to adjourn?
Oh,
Thank you very much, guys. Have a great day.
you too.
Give your press conference.